You are the master of your fate. Let's begin.
Let's begin here with honesty. You've tried, you've stretched, you made lists, set goals, read the books, watched the videos. You've wanted it, and yet you're tired. Not just physically, spiritually. The hunger that used to burn. Now it flickers. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're just tired of building without seeing the breakthrough. And I've seen that fatigue before, in men who nearly gave up 1 inch before the shift. They thought they lost their ambition, but what they really lost was the reward that usually fuels ambition. Because let's be clear, it's easy to stay hungry when the wins keep coming. It's easy to be motivated when the path pays off quickly. But what about when it doesn't? What about when it takes longer than expected and costs more than you thought? That's when most people drift. They don't quit with a bang. They fade quietly. 1 week off, one goal postponed, one habit dropped just for now. Before long, the edge is gone. The vision is blurry. And the phrase, "I just don't care anymore," creeps in like rust. But here's what I want you to hear loud and clear. That moment isn't your end. It's your warning sign. It's the dashboard light that says, not you failed, but you're running on the wrong fuel. And that's what this message is about. We're going to talk about why you lost the fire and how to rebuild it with something stronger than hype, caffeine, or another empty motivational high. I'll show you what's really underneath your fatigue, why your discipline didn't fail, your framework did, and how to tap into a deeper kind of drive, the kind that survives drought, disappointment, and delay. By the time we finish, you won't just want to try again. You'll understand how to stay hungry, even when life has nothing sweet to offer. Coming up, why motivation isn't working anymore, and what you actually need instead. Let's stop pretending motivation is fuel. It's not. Motivation is a matchstick, quick to light, quick to burn. It's a jolt, not a foundation. It's the surge that gets you started, but it can't carry you through the valley. You felt it yourself. You watch the right video. You hear the right quote. You feel that hit of, maybe I'm back. Then what? Life, interruptions, doubt, fatigue. The rush fades, and you're right back where you started, staring at the same list, the same obstacles, the same voice in your head whispering, why bother? And here's why that keeps happening. You've been chasing motivation like it's the meal, but it was never meant to be more than a spark. What you need now isn't louder music, another hype talk, or a fresh planner. You need anchoring. Anchoring is what builders use when the fire dies down. It's what the man with vision falls back on when the thrill disappears. It's the deeper why, the vow you made to yourself, the future you're building for someone else, the unshakable reason that doesn't vanish just because the feeling does. Let me ask you, what do you do after the emotion wears off? Who are you when nobody's clapping for you anymore? Can you still move when the path feels dry, silent, unrewarding? That's what anchoring answers. And that's where your hunger will be rebuilt. Not by trying to feel more, but by reconnecting to something stronger than a feeling. Motivation is emotional. Anchoring is personal. And that's what lasts. Next, I'm going to show you where your laziness is really coming from and why most people confuse exhaustion with weakness. But you'll see the truth. And when you do, you'll finally stop blaming yourself for feeling tired and start rebuilding in the right direction. Coming up, burnout doesn't always look like collapse. Sometimes it just looks like indifference. Let me clear something up right now. You're not lazy. You're just tired of believing without seeing. Tired of showing up and feeling no traction. Tired of doing the work and wondering if it even matters. Tired of dreaming big only to feel small every time reality slaps back. That's not laziness. That's discouragement. And it runs deeper than most people know. But here's the trap. When burnout shows up, it doesn't always shout. It whispers. It whispers in the scroll you didn't mean to keep scrolling. It whispers in the nap that turned into a day. It whispers in the voice that says, I'll get serious tomorrow. And if you're not careful, you start calling yourself lazy, instead of realizing you're just carrying disappointment with no place to put it. I've seen this happen in men with genius in their minds, and nothing left in their tank. And the worst part, they believed their exhaustion meant they were broken, but they weren't broken. They were unreplenished, unanchored, unseen. That's the cost of constant effort with no internal reset. You don't just run out of energy, you run out of belief. And when belief dries up, action feels fake. You can go through the motions, but your spirit isn't in it. So let me offer you something stronger than shame. What you call laziness is often just the body's rebellion against empty striving. It's your spirit saying, We can't keep pushing on fumes. So no, you're not weak. You're running the wrong pattern. But that's fixable, because the fire inside you isn't gone. It's just buried under the weight of unprocessed frustration. Next, I'm going to show you the exact loop that reignites that fire, how to rebuild desire, even when you feel like you've lost it for good. It's simple, it's repeatable, and it's what kept the hungriest men I ever studied from quitting when the world forgot their name. Coming up, the mindset loop that reignites drive, even after disappointment and delay. You want the formula for hunger. It's not hype. It's not luck. It's a loop, a simple, repeatable mental rhythm that restarts your internal engine, no matter how long it's been idling. Desire to clarity to movement to confidence to desire again. That's it. That's how builders get back on track, even after burnout. Let's walk it step by step. Desire, it starts with a whisper, not a scream. Not, I want to change the world. Just, I want this to feel better than it does. That's enough. You don't need fire, you just need a spark. Clarity, now ask, what one thing could I do this week that moves me closer? Not 10 things, not 10x. One clear step, one that removes fog and creates motion. Because clarity isn't a mood, it's a decision. Movement, then move. Small, fast, real. Send the email, fix the resume, clean the space, cancel the drain, say the truth. Motion is medicine. Not because it solves everything, but because it breaks the silence. And silence is where hopelessness grows. Confidence, once you move even a little, you feel different, and you remember something. Oh, that's right, I can do things. That's confidence, not ego, just evidence that you're capable. And now, you don't need motivation to keep going, because momentum just gave you more desire. And the loop begins again. This is how you stay hungry when everything in you wants to coast. Not by fighting the fatigue, but by cycling forward, even with low fuel. That's how Ford kept building. That's how Edison tested his 1,000th filament. That's how the world's strongest minds stayed sharp when the world stopped watching. Next, I'll show you how to win when motivation is gone. Using the exact strategy I watched the hungriest men of my time rely on daily. Coming up, why micro-victories rebuild momentum faster than vision boards ever will. You want to know the truth. The most disciplined people I ever met didn't start disciplined. They started desperate, but they got smart about it. Because when your fire is flickering and your energy is low, the answer isn't to overhaul your life in a weekend. The answer is micro-victories. Small wins, low resistance, high return. These men didn't ask, how do I feel today? They asked, what's one thing I can complete that keeps my identity intact? And that's the key, because hunger isn't rebuilt through motivation. It's rebuilt through evidence. Evidence that you still keep promises to yourself. Evidence that you're not drifting. Evidence that you're in motion, even if no one sees it yet. Let me show you what that looks like. 5 types of micro-victories. Pick one daily. 1. The shutdown victory. Turn off your devices by 9 p.m. Not because it's heroic, but because it honors your energy. 2. The 15-minute work sprint. Set a timer, silence everything, and finish one task. No multitasking, just movement. 3. The identity win. Do something that aligns with who you want to become. Dress better, speak clearer, show up early. 4. The declutter kill. Throw away, cancel, or unsubscribe from one thing that drains you. Clean up your input. 5. The hard truth move. Say the thing you've been avoiding, to yourself or to someone else. Cut the weight. These are not fireworks. They are bricks. Small moves that build self-trust. Small completions that prove you're not stuck, just rebuilding. And once you stack these, you'll feel the hunger returning. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger quietly. That's how the greats did it. They didn't need applause to build. They needed structure and the discipline to win the day when the world gave them nothing back. Next, we go deeper into the spiritual reset. Because even when your mind is sharp, your soul may be tired. And without anchoring to something higher, the fire fades again. Let me speak to the part of you that's deeper than discipline. Your soul is not just tired, it's unanchored. And no calendar system, no checklist, no perfect planner will fix a fire that's disconnected from why it was lit in the first place. Because when you lose sight of purpose, you start chasing performance. And when performance doesn't pay off fast enough, you collapse. This isn't about hustle. This is about meaning. So let me ask you, who are you building for? What sacred reason got buried under deadlines and disappointment? What promise did you once whisper to yourself when no one was listening. When you lose that, you lose your fuel. But here's the good news. You can reconnect without drama, without hype, without having it all figured out. Start here. The anchoring questions. 1. What kind of person am I becoming through this struggle? 2. Who will benefit if I don't give up, even when no one notices right now? 3. What deeper part of me still believes I'm meant for more, even if the surface is tired? When I sat with the great men of my time, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, I never once heard them say, I stay motivated because I'm excited every day. No, they stayed the course because they were connected to something bigger than emotion. Some called it God, some called it service, some called it destiny, but all of them knew this. When your mission is anchored, your energy may dip, but it won't disappear. You don't need perfect belief today. You just need one quiet reason to keep building. And if you lost it, go find it. Sit still until it speaks again. Then move like someone on assignment, not someone chasing applause. Next, the choice you face now. Quit quietly or move anyway. I'll show you what both roads cost. Let me tell you something I've watched play out in real time, over and over again. The cost of quitting is always higher than the cost of continuing. Not because quitting makes you a failure, but because you never just walk away from a goal. You walk away from the version of yourself who believed in it. And that's the wound that lingers. You tell yourself, I'm just taking a break. Maybe this wasn't meant for me. I need time to think. But deep down, you're grieving the hunger you used to have, and you don't know how to get it back. So the mind rationalizes, the ego protects, the fire cools, and before long you're not just pausing, you're drifting. Let me be blunt. One more scroll won't save you. One more delay won't rebuild you. But one more move, it might. Because power doesn't return all at once. It returns in pieces. One bold hour, one clear decision, one brave yes when you don't feel ready. I've seen men on the edge of giving up, career, faith, marriage, purpose, who came back to life because they made one move when everything in them wanted to disappear. And that move didn't fix everything, but it changed everything. Because the man who moves, even in pain, becomes a man with proof. Proof that he can still choose. Proof that he can still build. Proof that the fire's not gone. It just needed oxygen. So here's your choice. Sit in silence and wonder if we still have it. Or move in faith and prove that you do. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Now, because one more move won't just change your momentum. It might just resurrect your identity. Next, we close with the most important reminder of all. You're not done. You're being remade. Let me speak directly to the part of you that's been wondering if this is it. If the hunger you used to have is gone for good. If the fire burned too long and too low. If maybe, just maybe, you missed your moment. You didn't. You're not finished. You're not late. You're not weak. You're being remade. Because sometimes what looks like burnout is really the shedding of old ambition that no longer fits your new identity. Sometimes what looks like lost motivation is actually your soul saying, it's time to build from deeper ground now. So no, your hunger isn't dead. It's just growing up, and it's waiting for you. On the other side of ego, comparison, and artificial timelines, here's what I need you to know. You don't need to feel on fire to be on purpose. You don't need to move fast to move right. And you don't need to see the whole road to take the next step. You just need to start again as the new version of you. One decision, one boundary, one win. That's all it takes to stop surviving and start becoming. So say this to yourself today. I'm not done. I'm being rebuilt. I don't need permission, just progress. My hunger isn't gone. It's evolving. Then go live like someone who believes that. Because I promise you, this is not the end. This is the beginning of your next fire. And you're not walking into it empty. You're walking in with history, strength, wisdom, and something far more powerful than hype. Conviction. Now move.
Remember, your success begins the moment you decide to act.